Hello, this is Routers and Routing by Liam Knowlton.
And Emma Chase. So, what are routers and routing? Routers are devices that accomplish indirect delivery of datagrams between computer networks. They facilitate communication between networks and devices. And then routing is the ability to find the best path for information to take between devices. IP creates a virtual internetwork for the data to travel over, and this allows devices that may be on the opposite ends of the globe to communicate.
So when are routers needed? They are needed for indirect datagram deliveries, which is basically communication that is not done within the same network. If communication is needed to be done on the same network, then a router is not necessarily needed. Um, the source or the sender identifies the IP address of the recipient, if whether or not they're on the same network. If they're not, a router will be used to transmit the information, or many routers, as a matter of fact. Um, many routers will be used within many sets of networks to deliver information. For example, an analogy would be like mailing a letter from the United States, or more specifically Delaware, to somewhere in France. The information travels through different physical networks using different routers until the message can be relayed. And this happens through hundreds, if not thousands, of different routers. Um, and the routers will make decisions through hopping between routers, which we'll get into in a little bit, in order to relay the message in the most effective way, which is basically the routers will find the most efficient path for the information to travel. So here's a little diagram of what um, the data transmission kind of looks like. On the left, you can see what happens in a local network. If you look at the green arrow, that is a direct delivery where a router is not needed because they're on the same network. So the information travels from the host to the LAN switch to the other host on the network. Whereas the blue arrows that you can see um, happens between a local network and a remote network where many different routers are needed. As you can see, the arrow starts at the host and it goes through five or six different, or four different five different routers in order to get to the server on the remote network. And as you can see, it doesn't pass through every router that you see because there are many different routers. And what I described earlier in hopping is the the routers will figure out what the most efficient pathway for the data is in order to reach the end server.
Okay, so they decide which routers to go through routing tables. So routing tables consist of information regarding the different network IDs and the other routers that it's connected to. They assist in the direction of routing hops. So it's kind of like an internal mapping device for the router. And so the fewer entries that are in tables, the faster the router can decide where to send the datagrams. And this can span thousands of routers and networks. So this diagram just shows examples of different routing tables for the different routers. And why this matters. So one reason why it matters is home network management. So just knowing how routers function can help enable individuals to set up and troubleshoot their home networks. And internet security, understanding how routers handle data packets and implement security measures can help individuals safeguard their personal information and prevent unauthorized access to their network.
Um, Internet performance optimization, whether streaming HD videos, gaming online, or conducting video conferences, understanding router basics can help ensure a smoother online experience. And finally, troubleshooting. When internet connectivity issues arise, knowing how routers function can help individuals diagnose and resolve problems more efficiently since they know the functions of routers.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.